It's a bit of a mad one. Duff!
Oh shit,
Oh,
that's
what
kinda
the-
scary.
On December 13th, 2025, Sophie of Outdoor Girl Sophie began a solo camping trip in a forest near a lake in Denmark close to where she was raised. Her channel centers on quiet solo camping and genuine outdoor experiences. With rain, wind, and early darkness moving in the familiar place began to feel uncomfortable. As Sophie walks toward the campsite, soaked ground, cold air, and fading light make the forest feel heavier than normal. Even though she knows this area, the silence and early nightfall create a sense of isolation. Nothing has happened yet, but the surroundings seem unwelcoming.
So I'm walking towards the campsite and I see this deer over here. Oh, I thought it was fake, but now it moved. What should I do? Should I go there? Is he gonna be angry? I'm a little bit afraid. Now he's just enjoying himself. I'm gonna try and go a little bit closer. So now it's lying down right behind this table. Maybe this is his spot or hers. So I guess I should find another place. I was planning to stay at this shelter here. It has a nice fire pit. So I'm actually really unsure what to do, because now I'm worried if it's sick. It's just lying so still. I'm wondering if I need to call animal control in Denmark, but maybe it's normal. I don't know. I think I'm gonna try and call someone. I don't want it to be lying there in pain. Ikke når jeg nærmer mig altså tæt på den, eller siger høje lyde. Yes, tak. Lady told me to go close to it and check if I could see any wounds or diarrhea around it. But I was a little bit afraid to go too close and I couldn't see anything. She thinks that it might be because they are in mating season now, but she also asked me to send some pictures and videos, and then she would get back to me about what to do. But I'm also a little bit afraid to go close to it. If it's a male in mating season, they can be a bit dangerous. Now I've sent the pictures and a video to Animal Protection. Let's see what they find out. Luckily I have my tent, and then I'm gonna put it up over here.
At the lakeside shelter, Sophie spots what she first believes is a wooden shape. It is actually a deer standing still. Rather than running away, the animal stays there and later lies down near the picnic table. As time passes and the deer does not move, Sophie grows concerned. Unsure whether it is hurt, she contacts Animal Protection Services. Later, she is told the deer is likely exhausted from mating season, yet it remains nearby as daylight fades.
The lady from Animal Protection just called me back. She says that even though the deer looks okay, it's very unusual that I can go that close. So she is gonna send out a guy who's gonna have a second look and see if there's anything that needs to be done. I'm gonna keep an eye out for him. Now I really think that it's sick. It has laid its head down into the ground. Even though I'm going very close by it, it's just laying completely still. I hope that that man is coming soon and that he's able to find me. So I just called the Animal Protection and they cancelled the guy who was on his way out here. Apparently they think, based on the video I sent, that it's just very tired from the mating season. It's just laying there waiting for a new partner. So now I'm gonna find another place to start a campfire. Now I need to get my fire going. I hope that I can, even with this very wet firewood that I found. So I was standing next to the tent and suddenly I saw the deer approaching me. I ran off, or I walked away, And the deer came all the way up to the tent, starting just smelling it. And now it's eating grass right next to the tent. So I went over to the second shelter, and then I saw some eyes light up in the dark behind the shelter. So now I'm a little bit worried that maybe it's a female deer looking to meet up with the deer next to my tent. And yeah, so now I crawled into this shelter. I've always heard that in mating season you should not go near it. It's getting later and later in the evening. I haven't made a fire yet, so I cannot cook any dinner without a fire. Do you see the eyes of the deer? It is just standing right next to my backpack, eating grass. So I have a lighter in my pocket, but my fire starters are in my backpack. And I don't have that much success starting a fire without that support. The food is also in my backpack. Maybe he will go away soon. I don't have any luck with this campfire. I think the wood is too wet. I did manage to get my backpack now. The deer moved a few meters away from the table, so now I have all my stuff except for the tent, where the deer is still standing right next to it. I actually think that I'm gonna go home. Just as I was about to get up and leave, I called my dad and he calmed me down. Probably more afraid of me than I am of it. I have tried for almost an hour to get it going, and yeah, I think the wood is too wet. Now I'm sitting inside my tent. I am really hungry, and I have to try and see what I can cook for my dinner.
After setting up her tent in near darkness, the deer comes back moving close to her backpack. Aware of the risks during mating season, Sophie chooses not to cook outside. Wet wood stops her from starting a fire, and she briefly thinks about leaving, calling her father for reassurance. Once the deer moves away, she decides to stay.
Good morning. It has been very windy this night, and I actually see that one of the pegs have come out, so the tent is kind of collapsed. Luckily I have all my gear inside of the tent where I'm sleeping, so actually nothing happened.
The night remains quiet, but strong wind partly collapses the tent by morning. With rain returning, Sophie packs up, leaves no trace, and walks back toward the trail, ending the trip safely but uneasy. Some viewers see simple curiosity, while others note that prolonged fearless wildlife behavior can become unpredictable. When nature stops acting as expected, do you trust the explanation or the instinct warning you to stay cautious? On December 9th, 2025, Gavin from the YouTube channel Groovy Gavin examines some of the strangest real animatronics still visible to the public. His channel covers eerie locations and the psychology of fear. Moving through places in the United States and beyond, Gavin tries to learn why certain human-like machines create discomfort even when no actual threat exists.
I'm starting in a little place you've probably never heard of called Billy Bob's Wonderland. As you can see, there's literally no one here. There's one other car that might be the owner. It is open though. Oh my gosh, here they are. There's a ton of animatronics here that all come from an old pizza place called Showbiz Pizza. When I first walked into this little arcade slash pizza place, I ran into one of the only people there, one of the workers. Do people come here usually just for this?
Oh yeah, they'll sit there all day and just push the button.
And all the buttons play a show. Back to the animatronics and how creepy I think they are. A lot of the creepiest videos I see of animatronics, it's all like really bad quality, so I think that kind of adds to the creepiness. So starting off with the left of the stage, the Rolf and Earl Show. These two guys don't sing like the rest of them. They're meant to be a side stage comedy act between an alpha wolf and his ventriloquist dummy.
On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love said to me, I got it.
Moving over to the center of the stage is the Rockafire Explosion Band. We got Duke LaRue on the drums. His eyes are tweaked out. He's definitely the most chill out of all of them. We got Beach Bear, who has some really creepy old videos. And Mitzi Mozzarella. She kept winking at me. Next, we got the monkey. Fats Geronimo on the keyboard. But the main mascot and star of the show is Billy Bob himself, who is just over on the right. He actually just looked at me. We got Billy Bob, who I know a lot of people say online is one of the most terrifying animatronics that still exists today. He also has this friend Looney Bird, who I do think is a lot more creepy, and I even found some videos of him being made. They all play different shows. I can't play any of the audio, unfortunately, because it will copyright me, but it changes from time to time, and it definitely makes the whole thing a bit more uncanny. I think the biggest reason they're creepy to me is their eyes. That's the first thing I look at people. It really does feel like they're looking at you. So I'll group all of these together and give them an uncanny rating of 7.5.
Gavin starts at Billy Bob's Wonderland, where animatronics from the Showbiz Pizza age remain preserved. These characters were made for live stage shows, but years and alterations have changed their look. Their faces, especially the eyes, no longer show clear emotion, turning the mood from fun to disturbing as the investigation continues.
We're in San Francisco. We traveled very far here for one thing and one thing only, and this animatronic is called Laughing Sal. People seem to say this is one of the most creepy or uncanny ones, so Musée Mécanique. Here it is. Dude, it's so loud, bro. Why did they make this? If I was a kid, I would 100% have nightmares about this. It's the sound that makes it so bad. It actually sounds scary. The purpose of this was to stand outside of rides or attractions and just non-stop laugh. It was to get people's attention. It became standard practice for any carnival or fair to have one of these. I think what makes this one so weird is the movements are so unnatural. And then the laughing, whoever recorded that, it just sounds terrifying. I'm gonna have to give this one an uncanny rating of 6. I just don't think it was that creepy to me. But what was cool about the place that had Laughing Sal is they had a ton of other animatronics. This one's kind of creepier. I'm not gonna lie, this one's so much more uncanny to me. Look at the eyes, bro.
Bro, imagine all of them laughing at the same time in the middle of the night.
Oh my gosh, that would be awful.
The next location is Laughing Sal at San Francisco's Musée Mécanique. Built to attract attention with loud laughter and constant motion, the animatronic runs on repetition instead of performance. Years of mechanical use have affected its rhythm, making the encounter feel invasive rather than entertaining.
We're here with the animatronics. They are creepy, but it's kind of familiar, man. It's kind of comfy. I feel like a little kid again. But what's crazy about these that I mentioned earlier is all of these were converted from the ones at Showbiz Pizza to these ones now here at Chuck E. Cheese. First, we got Helen Henny. She was the creepiest. Her eyes are terrifying. And then we got Mr. Munch. This is the man on the keyboard. He kept clocking me, just staring at me. But I believe this is what the gorilla was turned into. Then we got Jasper T. Jowls, probably the same as Beach Bear, I believe. Pascally P. Pipeplate. This is the drummer. This is probably what the dog got turned into from Showbiz Pizza. And then finally, we got the main man, Chucky himself, which obviously, like I mentioned earlier, this is what Rolf turned into. Definitely when you get closer to them, they're all a little bit creepier. I don't know if they were glitching out, but when the curtains lowered when they weren't playing music, they keep moving after. It's kind of creepy.
Keep running, Levi. I love it.
Oh shit, that's kind of scary me.
Oh my gosh.
We see you.
Is he still moving?
Yeah.
Why is he still moving?
Look down.
Look at this drum.
And that was the final animatronic that I visited. And I did feel the most uncanny at this one.
At a Chuck E. Cheese location still operating animatronics, Gavin captures an unexpected moment after the show ends. Once the curtains shut, the animatronics keep moving without organized choreography. Although explained as a normal mechanical condition, the unscripted motion after the performance becomes the most unsettling part of the investigation. Even with no danger, unclear eye focus and movement beyond expected moments can create deep psychological unease. When machines are made to copy life, where does harmless design end and discomfort begin? This clip comes from Sask Adrenaline, a YouTube channel focused on hunting outings where wild animals usually stay a safe distance from humans. In most of their videos, wildlife remains far enough away to watch without danger. But this time, the moment changed without warning. What began as a basic observation quickly turned into a tense encounter once the bear understood it was not alone.
What the heck do you do?
Just don't move.
Standing face-to-face with a large bear at close range can become extremely dangerous. Even if the animal appeared curious or playful, the situation still involved real risk. Luckily, the bear turned its attention toward a nearby barrel. That short distraction gave the hunters a narrow chance to back away and reach safety. Sometimes animals simply lose interest and leave, but other times the result depends on timing and luck. If you suddenly realized a bear had spotted you from only a few steps away, what would you do next? Connor Hobbs runs a channel where he shares videos of himself climbing mountains, camping, and surviving in different remote wilderness environments. His content is always carefully produced, and many of his adventures are extremely intense. In this specific video, however, something happened that could have become very dangerous under slightly different circumstances. He had planned a 3-day trip along Canada's northernmost highway, hoping to test the dependability of his 1992 Toyota 4Runner while sleeping in a tent through sub-zero temperatures. At first, everything seemed to be going perfectly fine.
We're just coming into Tombstone Territorial Park here, and it looks way crazier in the snow. Absolutely beautiful. We're gonna have to find some wood for my wood stove that we're gonna camp in tonight. And if that fails, then we're gonna have to cut it down a tree before we run out of trees. I don't know how sparse trees get up in the Arctic, but I guess we're gonna find out.
The first day passed smoothly. He drove along the highway, set up camp inside his heated tent for the night, and the night went by without any problems at all. The next morning, he woke up, packed his equipment, and continued driving down the road. But this time, he soon found himself in a somewhat sketchy situation.
I've been thinking about when I'm gonna turn around or where I'm gonna camp. There's not a single tree around here. So, I'm gonna turn around here. There's no point in going further north. This is the last mountain range until we get like way north, but you have to cross a ferry over the Mackenzie, which the Mackenzie's gonna be frozen soon. So, not really worth the hassle of going up there and possibly getting stuck either after the ferry or before the ferry. We're gonna find a place to camp. Look at how far north we are. Whoa!
While looking for a place to spend the night, he turned off the main road to avoid any possible people nearby. That was the moment when things began to go seriously wrong. On a snowy off-road trail, he saw a section of frozen water ahead and decided to drive across it, believing it would not be deep. Unfortunately, that choice created a serious problem.
No, 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 no. We really just fucked up. No, 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 no. Okay, we need to build a rope system to get out of here. We need to build a rope system. So stupid. There's probably water getting in the fuel tank now. We're gonna have to get out some rope stuff. I got a beefy rope. So dumb! Oh man, I'm so dumb. How am I gonna get myself? This is f***ed up. It's like self-tensioned right now. This is fucked up, man. I'm gonna try to get the axe out.
He tried to get the vehicle unstuck by himself, but he had little success. If this had happened in a more populated place, it may not have been such a serious issue. But remember, this occurred in a remote area with temperatures below zero. Luckily, he was not very far from the main road, so he chose to walk there in hopes of finding help.
This guy's stopping, oh boy. I fucked up, man, I'm stuck over there. I broke through some ice. Could you tell somebody in the next town? I need a winch or something, like a come along or something. Yeah, it's sunk into the back, broke through some ice. All right, thank you. All right, he's gonna call in the squad.
After waiting for a while, one truck finally appeared and luckily it stopped. The driver said he would try to send assistance and then drove off, leaving no other vehicles anywhere else in sight at all. Everything now relied on that truck driver. Connor went back to his vehicle, knowing there was no way to tell when help would actually arrive. He set up his tent and a small stove to keep warm through the night, while the freezing water around the vehicle made it impossible to pull it out. He smoked a few cigarettes to pass the time, and later climbed into the tent to try to get some rest.
Woo! Well guys, that's not exactly how I was planning on my day going. My ship. There's nothing you could do but laugh, I guess. Good night, baby. Hopefully the fuel tank isn't full of water. We got the stove going. We've got a peace offering for any wolves that might come this way. They'll go for the canned food first, so it doesn't flap around, and so air doesn't just waft up into it. And inside, oh, it's nice and warm in here.
The following morning, he finally saw a truck coming toward him. Fortunately, they had come to help.
Hello, Jerry.
Oh yeah, just my campsite here. Not a problem. Did you hear about me from Eagle? Yeah, I've like sunk my back tire through the ice over there. So the front end is sticking out, but the back end is like below water. This part's like kind of swampy, but it's pretty frozen solid here. They were pretty stoked on my tent. They said if they get me out, they're keeping my tent. I think they're joking, but. Hey. Oh yeah!
Okay, put it in here, bud. We're actually fired up right now. Try everything right out.
Yeah, whatever I did with the keys. Absolute legends over here. Yanked me out. I thought we might lose her there.
This quickly became the ultimate test of reliability. The car still started, even though almost everything inside was wet. Now imagine if something like this had happened somewhere truly remote, where reaching civilization would require hiking for miles through snow and ice. Or worse, if there had been no nearby settlement at all. That situation could have ended in disaster. But thankfully, it did not happen that way. The truck driver deserves full credit for keeping his word and sending help to Connor. It is also essential to tell someone where you are going, so if you fail to return on time, they will know where to begin searching. If you were alone in that freezing place with your vehicle stuck in the ice, what would you have done next? The next eerie video comes from 401, files a UK-based paranormal encrypted exploration channel focused on immersive real-time investigations in remote woodland. The content is known for first-person footage, light dramatization, and recording subtle, unexplained activity in isolated environments. It is December 1st, 2025, in a rural forest in the United Kingdom. The host starts a walk through dense woods with their dog Lily, moving carefully through silent clearings and over pebble banks. From the start, the atmosphere feels tense, and the host stops often watching the surroundings with the feeling that something may be close.
Going on trips without Lil, so she needs to suck it up. I'm going to get camp set up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head off into the forest somewhere, get my tarp and everything set up. What the hell is that? 1 second. Let me get the phone out because this will not zoom. I don't know what that was. Not all planes do, obviously, but yeah, I just thought I'd film that because...
As shadows begin to shift near the edge of sight, the host reacts carefully, noting how the silence between each disturbance feels just as unsettling as the sounds themselves. Every snapping branch adds to the impression that something could be moving just beyond view.
The more I do this, the more confident she's going to get, so I might give her another Swedish meatball in a second. There's something about just being out on the water, not having to worry about anything, other than rapids obviously, but now if that was not a landscape in front of me that shouts cryptids, just looking at that ahead of me there, just, you know, it screams strange sighting.
Passing through small clearings, the pattern continues with unpredictable noises, followed by short silence, then movement again. The isolation seems to sharpen every sense, making even small disturbances feel more intense.
I know that a lot of cryptid guys come over from Bigfoot channels and UFO extraterrestrial channels, building a shelter out in the wild, and they're like, what is this about? Why is he not talking so much about the creepy stuff? Very unique niche, I guess, who find both equally interesting. I watch channels of people getting out into these areas, especially in like the Pacific Northwest and Canada, Alaska, and they're talking about Bigfoot, and I just think, what better place to have that conversation with miles and miles of rugged landscape and deep forested areas. You know, what a perfect blend. And so that's me, right? That's what I do.
In the final stretch, the forest remains active but never shows anything clearly. Subtle movement, distant sounds, and slight changes in the surroundings continue until the host decides to turn back. Nothing is seen, but the feeling remains. The forest never fully settles and never fully reveals itself. Some viewers felt the sounds could be natural, while others believed something may have been moving just out of sight the entire time. What do you think was really out there? The next unsettling video comes from Broken Capital, a UK-based paranormal investigation channel focused on solo high-risk explorations in haunted outdoor locations. The content is known for real-time reactions, minimal dramatization, and using spirit communication devices to record unexplained activity. It is January 7th, 2023 in Old Woodland, near a locally infamous haunted mile in the United Kingdom. The investigator arrives alone as darkness starts to settle over the forest. The area instantly feels wrong, dense, silent, and heavy with atmosphere. Crossing a small stream, he heads deeper into the woods and begins preparing his equipment. Almost right away, loud bangs and rustling sounds echo nearby. The noises are sharp, sudden, and close enough to create concern before the investigation has even fully started.
And I'm looking for dead things. Whoa, that was massive. Okay, let's get a go session done.
Later, something changes within the trees. A sudden heavy movement is noticed just beyond sight. His reaction is immediate, tense, and alert, showing how unpredictable the environment has become.
Hanged. There it is, hanged. This is hard for me. I'm not gonna lie, I love you all so much, but I had to. Cursed, hanged, okay. Is there anything you'd like?
He starts using his spirit communication tools, and words and names begin appearing. Each one adds to the weight of the location's history, giving the session a darker feeling.
Marilyn.
Marilyn. That was massive. What in the fucking Christ was that? I was just packing up and something massive has just walked past. What in the fuck? Oh, it's just a loud plane. Yeah, nah. F this, I'm getting scared now. crazy, what the f***? What's that floating? Weird. It's floating, whatever it is.
The forest does not calm down. Whispers, rustling, and quiet noises continue, creating a steady sense that something is nearby.
I can't see much when the light's on my face. It's a bit of a mad one. The f***? No. See you in a minute.
Another loud sound erupts, this time much closer. He quickly begins packing up, realizing the situation may be escalating beyond control. Moments later, something large moves through the surrounding bushes. The movement is physical, strong enough to shake the vegetation, confirming that whatever is nearby is not small. As he gets ready to leave, movement rushes through the trees. Whether it is an animal or something else, it is fast and close enough to make him retreat. Even then, it does not stop. Childlike voices can be heard as he moves away. At that point, the decision is final, and he leaves the woodland completely. Some viewers thought it could be a large animal moving through the area, while others believed something else may have been present. What do you think was really out there? The footage comes from Dub Wubs, an Australian paranormal investigation channel centered on real-time ghost hunting inside reportedly haunted locations. The channel's known for respectful investigations, spirit communication, and recording unexplained activity with EMF devices and spirit boxes. It is February 22nd, 2026 at Rockingham Cemetery in Australia.
What is good at you very lovely people? It is Dub Wubs, and today we are at Rockingham Cemetery. So we are just waiting on paranormal talks, but I'll just wait for the... It's hard to explain, but we're waiting for paranormal talks, and we have Strawberry here. That's it. And paranormal talks is here, so this should be good, guys. So we have good friend paranormal talks here.
Hello.
And oh, we've got the gear. Oh, we got the camera.
It's just bugs in the trees.
I know, but what bug makes that noise?
And they're like not dying.
You're all across the mountain. Really? I never knew that, guys.
Spirits of Rockingham Pioneer Cemetery. You may remember me. My name is Caleb. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
My name's Jasmine.
I'm Cameron.
Come through.
It's got like super windy.
Yeah, good hay.
Almost right away, a dark figure is spotted behind a tree. It appears briefly, but clearly enough to shift the tone of the investigation.
Come towards them if you're friendly.
We have a light here. Now we're gonna go walk down to this patio. Is it a patio?
Pergola.
We've got toys, so you can pop down a couple of toys.
Still recording. If you want to put the...
A temperature drop follows. The team feels a presence nearby described as calm but watchful. The air seems heavier, as if something has moved closer without being seen.
What?
I swear I just saw a shadow just like run across there. I don't know if I'm tripping, but I think I just saw a fucking shadow.
Then another visual moment happens. A shadow moves quickly across the cemetery grounds, visible for only a second before vanishing.
Show yourself. Go over here. If you're a peaceful spirit, then you are not welcome to touch me or follow me home at all.
Any of us. I can't get what they're saying yet. Start talking. We get baby hit every time. To the children's spirits here, we have some toys that you can come in and play with. If you don't want the children's spirits to come and interact with us, that's okay. No, we're here with peace and positivity.
As the session continues, several voices come through the devices. Some are difficult to understand, while others form direct replies. By the end, the investigation leaves a strong impression, not of something dangerous, but of something aware, watching, listening, and choosing to answer. Some viewers felt it may be environmental effects mixed with device interference, while others believed it showed something responding in real time. What do you think was really there?